I popped on earlier on my Instagram live, and Lemuria wanted to be spoken about. She's been calling me and calling me lately. First, it started with Lemurian crystals, the Lemurian quartz seeds that like I just couldn't get enough of. I like bought so freaking many because I felt like we all need a little bit of Lemuria right now to aid us in this transition back to our remembered stage, back to our ancient ways of knowing, our internal knowing, right? So first the Lemurian crystals were calling me, and then I popped in and I did a market, and I found this amazing deck. She called to me immediately, beyond Lemuria, and all of her codes since I've had her in my hands. It's just been one synchronicity after another. Seeing some more awakened fucking goddesses sharing about Lemuria, sharing their light codes. And it just triggered something within me. It triggered this deep remembering. I've known for years that I experienced Lemuria. My soul was there at that time, as were many of us who are awakened and know right now. And well, I had a life that popped up a few times, but it never really, like, I never got the full picture. I got the part of it. In this life, I was fearful. This was at the end of the Lemurian Empire. This was when the waters started to come to flood our world. I remember vividly watching my husband stand with the men, trying to use our magic to put up our force field that would have saved our humanity. It would have saved our society. And then before, when I remember this life, he was always like, go, go, save the children. I remember running with my eldest daughter and our other children, a baby at the time as well, and placing him in her hands and saying, go, go, I have to save your father. And I ran back to help. And that was all I got in this past life until recently. Recently, the memories have started resurfacing. The feeling and the knowing that the force field wasn't going to work, that our magic had been corrupted. Now I get this vivid imagery of some large crystal formation and the knowing that we all focused our energy into this crystal and it sustained our life, that it brought our magic and was our physical manifestation of our energy. Hello, Malika. Thank you for joining me. So this crystal, I just get this vivid imagery of blood running down this crystal and this inner knowing that our magic had been corrupted. In Lemuria, we were very feminine-based society. When we think about the masculine and feminine, the feminine is very free-flowing. It's spirit, it's energy, it's the unknown, it's the not needing to know, it's the heart and not the mind. Whereas the masculine is the very physical, the doing, the technology, all of this 3D-based society. And at this time, we lived in the feminine, came from a feminine based society. And I get this vivid imagination that our crystal, our feminine energy was corrupted by masculine greed, by greed and jealousy and disharmony, duality, that inner battle that was going on in someone. They manifested it into reality. I get that, like, I get this like sacrifice, like they wanted power and control so fucking badly that they tried to take our power as their own. And that is what caused the flood. Trying to take from nature, from the feminine, from Mother Gaia, trying to control was our downfall. And now not everyone in the society was that person who tried to control and take, but it didn't have to be everybody. Just that one affects everything, right? We are all unity. So when there is disharmony within one of us, that ripples, right? And this person, this entity, I don't even know. I haven't gotten a specific person other than the darkness. The darkness manifested itself into this one being, and this one being was fearful. Lack of self-worth, jealousy, greed, control all came up, and it tainted our beautiful magic. And now because of that fall, we have been stuck in this disharmonious masculine society for too fucking long. But I feel like we need to recognize that it had to happen. A beautiful goddess here, the chanting queen Malika Salami, just shared the other day. She had been intrigued. She saw the cards and they started her remembering. And she posted, I'm just getting like chills fucking thinking about it. She posted this most beautiful prayer speaking of the water taking her, and it just sparked that memory even deeper. My feminine knowing in this life came to the realization that the force field would not work. We all of the women in this life came to this remembering, and we stood together hand in hand, and with the intent that we would one day rise and right what was wronged, we allowed the water to take us. And then because of that greed and that need of control, we have endured centuries of disharmony. But now we are finally coming to this realization that we don't need that disharmony. You have to record it again. It was so amazing. If you guys haven't, you should check out Malika's channel and check out that beautiful, it was such a channeling from that time, from that past self of ours, and it invoked some raw tears and emotions from me, like the pain and the suffering that our souls have endured since then. I get the feeling that there were 144,000 souls there in Lemuria. 144,000 souls that were buried in the deep depths of the waters. And because we held on to love in our last moments, because we set that intent that we would take this watery grave in order to flourish again, in order to right the wrongs, in order to come back to harmony. And now is the time. Now is the time for us to rise. So I'm going to pull a card from our Lemuria deck to see what messages she wants us to know. Because we need to remember, this is what we want to go back to. Lemuria was balanced. It was a feminine-based society in the fact that we were aware and in tune with our gifts, and we weren't focused on the physical. Like, we weren't as dense as we are now. We were like a different sort of being. We were more ethereal. We weren't fully formed in the physical. Our ancient future Remember, all life is a cycle. And now is our time to come back. Our time to come back to this inner knowing, to come back to that feminine flow that resides in all of us. The feminine isn't just for the feminine body. Masculine bodies have this feminine energy as well. But we've all been taught to forget our feminine knowing, that inner intuition, that deep connection within all of us. Just allow these codes, these light codes, our ancient future, to kind of like feel into your system, to kind of seep in. These cards are evoking that deep remembering within each of us. And every little bit of light code that we receive, take this guy too, every little bit of light code that we receive are turning different locks in order for us to unlock that divine nature of ourselves, because it's within all of us. So let's read what the book has to say about our ancient future. The words, just the way that it says, it's hard for our human mind to comprehend that, the ancient future. It's like, wait a second. This human reality tells us that ancient is the past. What is this? What is this? But if you tap into your inner knowing and tap into that inner intuition, that spirit that's within each of us, you know, wisdom from indigenous peoples, ancestors holding the keys for the future, ancient remembering, bloodlines, how the past affects the future, a time to step up, timeless power symbols, activation for powerful shifts. I just feel like before reading the rest of this card, I have to mention, since this deck came into my life, other synchronicities with Lemuria have been coming up for me. First, it was the crystals that showed, then it was the deck. Then it was, I was watching somebody's page and suddenly they had received some light codes and channeled some light codes onto paper. And to me, and others noticed it as well, immediately it was the history of Lemuria. And then I got some hidden meanings that I couldn't quite comprehend in my mind, but I felt in my heart. Just like a push to dive down into this life more and to figure out what's going on or what happened. How did Lemuria, such a beautiful, harmonic society, what happened? Where are they? And so with that drawing, another friend that I had recently met, who I actually got this deck from, she had mentioned that her spirit told her I had something for her. Immediately I thought of this channeled drawing that I had come across, so I sent it to her. And immediately she returns another channel drawing. Synchronicities, I tell you. And immediately when I saw this channel drawing, I got the vision of a huge white owl. Owl symbolizes knowledge, inner knowing, wisdom. So this huge white owl swooped over me and dropped a key, a bright, glistening, gold and white light key into my hands. And immediately I knew that I needed to unlock our ancient past. I had to unlock Lemuria in our remembering. I've been seeing a lot lately, a lot of people talking about Lemuria, but also many, many focusing on Atlantis. Now, I believe that Atlantis and Lemuria were around the same time frame. I believe that they were part of the time, at least, they were coexisting at the same time. And now everyone believes and knows about Atlantis being taken by the sea. But it was actually Lemuria that was taken by the waves. She was the feminine half of society at that time, and Atlantis was the masculine side. Atlantis was more technologically advanced. They focused more on the physical, whereas Lemuria was all about the spirit and the ethereal. Now, on another card that I pulled this morning on that live that mysteriously disappeared, you mentioned the Merkaba. And if anyone knows what the Merkaba, it's like right above my fucking head right now. The star tetrahedron that all of our energy encompasses. Our Merkaba is supposed to be our light force vehicle. It's supposed to transfer us and move us through time and space. Once you're able to harness the Merkaba of our energy, the upwards pointing is the masculine and the downward pointing is the feminine. And the whole precept around it is that the masculine spins one way, the feminine spins the other, and you create a light body that can transfer you up between worlds, between dimensions. And back in Lemuria, we were aware of this energy within ourselves. We were capable of using this readily and easily. You can manifest anything when you are attached to your Merkaba and working in your Merkaba. But those in Atlantis, or at least some in Atlantis, wanted the control and had that greed. They were unable to come to their Merkaba naturally because they were disconnected from their spirit. And they tried to make a technological physical Merkaba. But the rules of the universe didn't like that very much. And that is when cataclysm struck. The Merkaba, the physical, technological Merkaba, was out of sync and it destroyed Atlantis. And then they sunk. Lemuria was taken by the waves, again, because of greed and the need for control. Those two things have ran our society for centuries, if not millennia. Now is our time to remember and our time to move past that. So let's read. Right now, the legends of the Lemurian civilization feel important, as the wisdom from this ancient time is relevant. The fall of Lemuria alerts us to the possibility that humanity may face if we live without respect for the earth. An ancient remembering is emerging. Many of the seed crystals and the knowledge they are imbued with are becoming unearthed. All those who can see a better future are not just dreaming. Their hearts and minds are hearkening to the core of earth-based traditions to bring through knowledge that will help shift this paradigm into balance. It is said that the Lemurians who survived the fall traveled the planet and ended up in the places where inspiring indigenous knowledge far outweighs that of Western minds have come to prioritize. The ancient Egyptians, Mayans, Inca, Tibetans, Maori, indigenous Australians, and Hopi are examples. These ancient knowledge keepers of earth and ethers have been holding the key for a new world. We are being called back to our roots, to acknowledge the infinite wisdom available when we drop to our knees in a humble receptivity. To move gracefully forward, we must first stand in our power for the places, ethics, and conservation of what matters most. When we heal ourselves, we often heal our ancestors also. As illuminating beings ready to make a change in the collective consciousness, we can sometimes take on what seems like more than our fair share of karma. We may be clearing some of the wounds from our ancestors. With this in mind, we can ease through the waves, allowing guidance and empowered perspective to lead us to the greatest good. The divinatory meaning of this card. This card is imbued with activations for a new paradigm. You are now being showered with blessings in preparation for a transformation. It may be turbulent at times, but you will grow and heal through the coming journey. Partake in activities that help you drop into a meditative state as often as possible. Use clearing tools to raise your vibration, and don't get caught up on the destination. Focus on the journey and the experience. You can navigate a situation you have no experience with by being truly present. Integrity and intuition will be your guide. All the answers for everything are in here. We just need to step through the veil. That veil is this physical reality. It is the falsity. We've been taught that it's the only truth, but it's the one thing that can be manipulated. Your inner truth cannot be manipulated by the outside. Well, there are limiting beliefs and programming and bullshit that can get in the way. But it's our job, especially right now, to start peeling back those layers, to start remembering who we truly are and where we come from. Because when we can recognize where we come from and who we are, we can recognize what we're meant to do and what we're meant to create in this world. You are fucking magic. Each and every one of you. You hold all the secrets of the universe within you. The masculine will tell you that you need to research and look external for these, and that can help. But we need to recognize that we have all the answers in here. There's just some gunk in the way. So this is our time to start peeling back those fucking layers. For getting rid of all the trauma, the limiting beliefs, the societal and familial programming. Peel all those back. Become raw with ourselves. And enjoy this fucking journey. Enjoy the experience, because that's what we're here for. We are here to experience everything. We must integrate the dark and the light within each and every one of us. And it is only your responsibility to do it for yourself. And when we start integrating that dark and light within us, when we start recognizing the harmony that can be caused, that can come from the disharmony, once we take that duality and we integrate them together and recognize that we are all one and we are already whole, we just need to recognize the other parts of ourselves, that shadow aspect of ourselves that we so often shy away from. In Lemuria, they were authentic to themselves. They recognized their physical form, but they also recognized their spirit, the hidden parts of themselves. And that's what kept them connected and aware of their connection, because we are all always connected. It's just a matter of your awareness. But when that fear sinks in, remember, every emotion has, at the base, is either fear or love. And we have the choice. We have those, what is that saying? We all have two wolves, the dark and the light. It's whichever wolf you feed is the one that wins, right? Now we can fight with ourselves internally, or we can integrate ourselves and recognize that both parts of ourself are true and both parts of ourself are real, and that's okay. We're allowed to have that darkness just as much as we have that light. And when we come to this inner understanding, this inner standing, is where we can truly, truly hear that inner knowing, that intuition, and we can get all the answers. So Lemuria is both our ancient past and our ancient future. It's where we are headed once again. Now, do we choose to live in harmony within ourselves in order to create that new earth, to create that new paradigm? If that's the case, we must focus on that harmony within ourselves and create that focussy within ourselves in order to create that external reality that we all want to see. So don't allow this disharmony within yourself to manifest externally. Do that inner work. Start diving into that shadow. Figure out what the fuck she's trying to tell you, she or he. Because in the shadows lay our greatest possibilities for growth. Those shadows are showing us the parts of ourselves that need recognition and need to be healed. So if we can look at our shadows and these flaws within ourselves as a blessing rather than a curse, hold it with love and appreciation, we can create that harmonic internal reality in order to push that externally. Thank you for being called. Only those who hear that inner calling will be the ones to watch this, to get the downloads that are required in this, and to know that you were in Lemuria too. That's why it calls to you. I've been wearing Larimar and Lemurian seeds and some citrine for like a week now. I can't take it off. Lemuria just calls to me. She calls me to remember what we are capable of when we hold ourselves in love and unity. So that's what I'm sending out to the world today. Love and unity and remembering. It is hard to love the unity of all. The lotus, showing that we can grow through the mud, through the darkness, and raise and blossom into that beautiful fucking light. So I'm sending you all so much love. I hope this finds you well. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, my channel. I'm going to be coming on more often. I'm not allowing that self-sabotage to come in anymore. When I feel like a message needs to be spread, I will speak on it. For a week now, I've been feeling this Lemurian pull, and I had held myself back from saying it because, oh, she's just crazy. Lemuria is a fact. But that's all bullshit programming, guys. Yeah, you know better. Anyways, I love you so much, each and every one of you. I'm sending you all so much love. And if you feel the call and you would like to work with me further, all of my links are in the description here. The easiest way to work with me right now is through my monthly membership. We have our new moon circle, our new moon Zoom call coming up on Thursday, the day after solstice, where we're setting intentions for our new year, even though technically the Gregorian calendar, but we still consider it a new year. Setting our intentions, and then everyone receives a card pull and blockage removals. And these are blockages that are in your system that are holding you back from that highest self. I just ask for a year-long commitment. And that's a commitment to you and your spiritual growth. So if you feel that call, click the links, reach out. I'm always here. So much light and love to each and every one of you. And if you have any stories or rememberings from Lemuria or other pasts, please comment below. I'd love to hear about it. It freaking lights me on fire when we remember. Anyways, peace and love to you all. Have a lovely evening.